how do you find this? Like, it's such a bullshit question to say, how do you find your passion, right? Because it's so vague. But like, if anyone's in their 20s and they're going, I want to have that level of passion that you have, James, like what would you recommend?
I think it's a great question, actually. It all comes from momentum. You don't end up in the position that I am in terms of having a clear mission and path of and an idea of what I want to do in life by sitting still. I have tried so many different things. I had a corporate job for like 10 years. Before that, I had a whole bunch of casual part-time jobs in pretty much every industry that you can think of. I've launched products and companies in pretty much every industry that you can think of. And I've tried to find out of all of these pursuits that I've been involved in, what are the skills that I brought to the table? What are the things that I've been able to capture from that? And what is the foundation that I've been able to build and the relationships? And as a result of that momentum and being open to life and saying yes, that is what has led opportunities to me where it just felt like, wow, the clouds have parted and this is what I'm put on this earth to do.
Keyword I reckon there is being open.
Yeah.
I think you're never going to find your passion if you think you have to follow the path. Like the passion doesn't exist on the path. Everyone I've interviewed, I always ask the same question. I didn't for you, but I did the last podcast. So I figured let's not repeat it. And that's, what did you do after high school? It's a simple question. But the reason I ask it is because if you ask that question, if you listen to 100 episodes of every single time they say, I had no idea what I want to do after high school. And then they say, I did this and I ended up doing this. It gives you permission to know, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, I have to be this certain pathway, just be open to life. Do this, be open to new things, and it'll happen. Even Dr. Michael Bruce, who we've mentioned a few times, he was like, I want to be a psychologist, but in order to do that, they said I had to do a 6-month course on sleep. And so I did that just so I could become a psychologist. And then I ended up falling in love with it within 3 days.
Sliding door moment. Yeah, it's huge. And it's saying to someone like, what's your passion? It's a difficult question to answer. If someone held a gun to your head and said, what's your passion? You'd be like, you'd be...
Bang.
Yeah, exactly. Bang. You're gone. You're dead. Couldn't answer the question. But when you can think about... I've interviewed a lot of like really high-level entrepreneurs, and they focus on finding a piece of joy in every single day. Like, what is something that gives them joy? So and there's also books that talk about like what makes your heart sing. The idea of thinking about what do you instinctively enjoy researching and looking up and participating in and talking about when you wake up in the morning or at the end of the day, that's probably going to give you a bit of an idea, but you need some commercial sense there as well. You can't just be like, look, I love watching TV. I'm going to figure out a way to get paid watching TV. So I'd be thinking about, well, what are the feelings that you get from watching TV? Is it connection? Is it adventure? Is it like an experience? Then is it transporting people out of their reality so they can feel like they're part of something else? Cool. What unique skills can you develop or that you already have that you can use to go and create a similar feeling for different people? It might be a completely parallel industry. It might be something completely different, but by you know that you have a passion for the feelings that are created through that, and that's the type of thing that you can follow. You don't need to be so specific on what it is. You got to acquire skills. You got to acquire knowledge. Podcasts like this one, reading a lot of books. These are all things that you have to be a lifelong learner. However you want to learn. You know, if you only learn from watching TV, it's not ideal. But then make sure you watch the right stuff. If you learn best through reading, read the best stuff that you can find. That builds that momentum and an open mind and helps connect these different paths. And you can even get a bit more specific on that. Write down a list of 20 to 25 different things that you love, and then look at the commonalities. What are the patterns that you can find and link up between those different things? And just work on that for 5 or 10 minutes a day. Just work on exploring those different things. What's the problem? What can you add from the other side? What are some things that you contribute? Teach that to someone else, because you can really reach a level of mastery by teaching other people about it. And then you can start to go from there.